Yo, what's good everyone? This is Ayo Boxing with Madiba, and here's my post-fight review for the disgraceful fight between Romero and Ismael Barroso. And I like Rolly. I've been a fan of him ever since the fight with Tank Davis. I gave Rolly the benefit of the doubt for taking on this fight because I felt some of the pre-fight criticism that he got was unnecessary. But witnessing what happened last night, I cannot defend Rolly or try to justify him winning that fight. This was a prime example of what a fixed fight looks like, and I usually dislike when people try to point the fingers at promoters and organizations for being corrupt, but this smells and looks like some PBC corruption. It looked like Tony Weeks was paid off and got a signal to end the fight because that stoppage was too early, and this type of shit hurts boxing. In all honesty, this fight was an alley-oop for Rolly to slam dunk and he failed it. He smoked a game-winning layup and a referee had to bail him out. And I have to give a big shout out and all respect to Barroso. They call this man a senior citizen, a crib keeper, a mummy, the palotero man, all types of names. But Barroso is a warrior and he came to fight. They did this man so dirty and he didn't deserve it because he was winning that fight. Rolly disappointed me in this fight. He came out in the first round conservative. He was using his legs and moving around a lot because he was respectful of Barroso's power. At first, I thought Rolly was using the first round to feel out Barroso and then start taking the fight to him, but it looked like he was gun shy and hesitant to fight a southpaw. It was like he was having flashbacks to fighting Tank Davis because instead of going after Barroso and stepping to him like he did with Tank, Rolly was using his legs to move around. And there's nothing wrong with boxing and moving on the outside, but Rolly looked awkward and had no nuance to it. This made it easy for Barroso to time and attack Rolly. Barroso was landing the left hand consistently, landing it to the body and head. And at the times when Rolly planted his feet to attack, Barroso would often get the better of the exchanges. Barroso would even drop Rolly in the third round. Barroso would go on to win most of the rounds up to the ninth. Rolly would land a clean left hook that staggered Barroso and would follow up with a right hand that basically was a push, and Barroso would go down. It wasn't a clean knockdown, but it was still counted as one. I let that one slide because maybe in real time it looked like a knockdown, but still. Rolly would then go on to jump on Barroso, trying to hurt and end the fight, but Barroso was clearly fighting back. Near the end of the round, Rolly and Barroso would get into a wild exchange on the ropes. Rolly would land a right hand on the shoulder of Barroso, but it was basically a push. Barroso would go backwards and then land a right hook on the head of Rolly, and Rolly would answer with a right hand that landed on the neck of Barroso. The punch wasn't clean, but Barroso would duck down and roll underneath a left hook. But Tony Weeks would come in and stop the fight right when Barroso was ducking and rolling. And this made no fucking sense because Barroso was not hurt. He was still fighting back and he was being defensively responsible. What made this even worse was that Barroso was up on all the scorecards. Rolly and his trainer Bullet even said that the stoppage was premature. Overall, this was just bullshit. And now we have the new WBA champion at 140, Rolly Romero. It was just a disappointing fight, a disappointing decision, and a disappointing performance by Rolly. Once again, respect to Barroso because even though he's an old guy, he came to fight and he was winning the fight. It's clear to see that Rolly hasn't really improved at all, and he's food for anyone at 140. But the real question is, what's Rolly's next move? I know for a fact that they're not having a rematch, which sucks for Barroso, but Rolly wants a fight with Ryan Garcia. And based on how boxing works, I'm certain that Ryan Garcia will fight Rolly by the end of this year. It just makes too much sense. Rolly isn't going to unify with Regis, Taylor, or Matias. Those fights are guaranteed losses for Rolly, and they're too dangerous. And he's not fighting any of the top 15 contenders because all those guys are basically killers. Ryan needs a comeback fight, and this is the perfect opportunity for him to get a win over a name and also become a champion. Regardless of what happens next, Rolly is definitely becoming the most hated man in boxing, and I don't think he has the skills or talent to capitalize on it and be successful at it. But who knows, this is boxing. Anything can happen. But thank you for tuning in with AO Boxing with Madiba. Hit like and subscribe, and more content's coming your way.